Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
I was finishing up HG Thresh Clothing. They are downtown, their old location, 2010 Broadway. They got Texas Tech stuff, too. Got this really nice Peter Millar with the logo.
Really nice Texas Tech stuff.
It's so cool. And also at 82nd and Quaker in Kingsgate and on the south side of 82nd Street there. You know where it is. Go see them. Howard and Jeremy will take great care of you. No doubt about that.
All right, let me read this text because it leads into our guest.
All right.
You ready? Texter, this is early in the show when we're talking about David's hiccup. He said, "That's a scary situation. Glad you are okay. I will pray for your full recovery."
Well, that's very nice.
All right.
I appreciate that.
And speaking of praying, we have the head?
No, he's not the head. He's like
I'm
just a guy.
We got a little lieutenant.
He's really a big
in the
deal,
FCA.
though. And he's
corporal.
Yeah, he's definitely, he's body better than that. Bigger than the core. Y'all ought to start. Y'all got so many working there now. It's unbelievable. Because Ron Reeves and I used to do FCA. We had nobody. We did it. And what they put together now, Terry Conard had a big hand in that. David Sparkman now is the area director.
Oh, Sparky.
Yeah, his
Sparky's dad
is the area director. But Brandy Cantrell.
Yeah.
Of course, Bradley's there. It's just it's unbelievable how many people we have working for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Such a blessing.
And this is a big week for FCA. We're going to talk about that in a second.
That's the main reason we want to
talk.
All
right, Bradley, tell some of the other folks that.
Yeah, growing team. I'm actually, so if you want the title, Hub City Director.
He's a Hub City Director.
I'm director over everything inside the loop. We've got Brian Klein, so he's a guy.
Baseball.
Klein's a good one.
He's the Southwest Director.
Now, what does that mean? Midlands?
So we're trying. No, so it's South. We're taking South Plains and we're breaking it up into smaller components where there's someone kind of driving each area, and we're trying to raise more staff because we want to kind of shrink to grow. Everything that we're doing, our entire heartbeat is share the gospel and make disciples who make disciples, and so to do that, we're trying to just build the team to. That way, instead of one person going to 30 schools, we want one person going to a few, going a little deeper.
That's the way it ought to be.
So, yeah, we've got, and then.
So, y'all want more people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right.
But we're, and I won't go too much into it, but yeah, we've got a guy we're now looking into youth sports. There's 60 million students from the age of 8 to 13 off campus sports. So, that's all the youth sports stuff. So how do we reach these guys with the gospel, and how do we disciple students? How do we disciple parents and coaches? And we want them to have we want to build sport on the foundation of Christ and it not be the God of our society. Because right now, sports
may be the God.
It is the God
for a lot of people.
And we're just trying to do everything we can to put it in its proper place and build it on the proper foundation. So we're pursuing that, and it's a huge dream, vision, and youth.
I think if we've ever needed it, and we always have, I think now more so than ever, and I think that probably we had how many people this week at Fields of Faith?
We've heard all sorts of numbers. We kind of estimate anywhere from 12 to 15,000.
Right.
I was talking to someone this morning, and they were like, "I thought there was maybe 20,000." Now, I'm not going to inflate that number, but we can ballpark.
Is it the biggest we've ever had?
I believe it was. Terry might have something to say.
No, well, it was. He told me 13,000
last night.
Yeah, when we did our game Thursday night.
Yeah,
and we had 13,000 at Fields of Faith.
Yeah,
he said it was the biggest crowd that we've ever had, and this is the biggest in the nation. And it is my understanding, right here at Texas Tech.
Yeah, I know for years it has been. I know they did one year at the Buffalo Bills Stadium. I don't know what they ran, but they had some of the Bills players come out, which is really cool. So maybe we'll get something at Cowboy Stadium.
But, it really
we should.
The thing is these are local schools bringing all these buses of kids. It is just phenomenal to watch, and this is the first one I've missed. this year.
Yeah, they told us, I think they said the number at Crosbyton, they're like, they have 85 students in their high school, and they brought 100 kids. So
It's just phenomenal.
Getting the middle schools roped in. And
Well, I think that says something about where we live.
Yeah,
and
it does.
and the areas that would allow their school buses
Thank the
to
Lord.
bring kids to a Christian event, because I'm thinking there's states that you couldn't do it, even if you wanted to do it.
Probably.
They wouldn't let you do it because, the church and state.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, that says a lot about our community. That
We have
they say.
in these little local area schools, you get them going. I'm telling you, it is so fun to watch what happens because everybody becomes a part. Everybody joins in. This is similar. We also have another great event that they had See You at the Pole at the schools. There's another one, Gary, that maybe in some states around the country you can't have See You at the Pole. And it's a Christian event. And, of course, Fields of Faith is Fellowship for Christian Athletes. And, Kennedy spoke, didn't she?
Yeah, so we did a Q&A with her. And
Brandy interviewed her.
So Brandy interviewed her, did some questions, and it was good. We did hear that the mic was a little soft for her, so we'll make sure that we coach them up, keep that mic nice and close. And
Well, did you tape it? Is it anywhere on the internet where people could go listen to either the whole thing or maybe
we did Facebook Live it. So I'm assuming with that, once it was Facebook
You're in
Live,
luck.
I'm assuming I think it's recorded in there. So
it is?
It should be.
Yeah.
South Plains FCA. It should be on
there.
there.
Just pull up South Plains FCA. You'll be able.
On Facebook?
They'll probably link it. No, not on Facebook.
Okay, I was going to practice.
Just pull it up and then go to their site. Go to South Plains FCA, and then they'll link it on the South Plains FCA, and you can just push the button and it'll go right to it.
That's my first official event on Facebook,
and it'll go to Facebook, play it for you.
Oh wow!
So, all right, I talked to Wes Kitley last night because I know Wes did the opening prayer. So I said, Wes, I heard you did the opening prayer. Would you like to come in the morning and talk a little bit about the Fields of Faith? He goes, well, I would, but I'm in Florida. And I said, well, do I have a flight or something? You could come back.
Yeah.
And he said, no, they got a full day. They're down there with Zach. Their grandkids. They're so excited. And it just.
How's Zach Smuts doing,
I looked him up earlier, but not in the last couple of weeks. I've been busy. But,
okay.
He's doing good. I know that they won a couple early, and they had a really tough game. I'll look them up again. But Wes Kitley was there. He spoke. He said the opening prayer. And Zach Randalls. Now, this is John Randall's son. Now, get this. Zach Randalls, he's a West Texas boy, grew up right out here in the South Plains. He goes and starts a church in Washington, D.C. I can't even. Where you want to start a church? Well, let's go to Washington, D.C. and do it. How did he do?
Yeah, I love Zach. We got to go out there and see their church, actually. And
you did?
Man, it's really one of the things about DC. It's kind of hard to get land and get property. Here in Lubbock, you can build the biggest facility and host 1,500 people, and they're literally having to flip that rotation out over and over. And they're running 3 services. They don't even have like a foyer area. So they got tents set up. So the one thing I'll give them, if they're going to church, I mean, they're standing outside, they're getting rained on. He said there'll be pictures of people up there taking pictures to their apartments to see who's going in and out. But he told me they had over 900 people come through their services the last Sunday. And so, man, they're doing amazing things out there. But Zach, man, brought a great word. He always does. And so love that guy, thankful for him. He was trying to get me to go out to D.C., but I told him I don't think I'm called there, but we're still we're doing what we're supposed to do right here in Lubbock. Yeah, he's trying
not
to
in the Lord's way, but the Zach's way.
So we're joking. He tried to get some other people out there, and I won't say names or anything, but she said, Zach, it would take a whale swallowing me to get me to D.C. He says, well, okay, I'll start praying for God to send the whale. So every time he sees them, he'll ask them, have there been any whale sightings? And so
in Lubbock?
Yeah, that's right. Swallow them up and spit them out there.
Yeah. He's that's Zach. Of course, most of you out there, especially older people, you all remember John Randall's.
Yeah, he comes from good stock. Zach does.
And BJ was our principal at Monterey, his dad, and we love this family. Just loved them, and Kelly, his wife, and they were such a great family. And he died of cancer, which we talked about earlier. And you would just, he was such a dynamic preacher.
Well, and everybody keeps saying, I was talking to Dudley at the game yesterday, and he said, if you close your eyes, this sounds just like him. He sounds just like his dad.
He's something else.
Well, I went to his dad's funeral, and it was at First Baptist Church, and it was packed. Just
packed to the gills. They're 1 and 2 right now, Zach Kelly. That service was it was like, what was that deal he used to do there, Paradigm? He used to do that on Thursday nights at First Baptist. John Randall's led it. It was packed like that to the rafters with people. And John was such an inspirational leader, and I'm glad Zach's doing good. Does he ever talk about coming back here?
He's up there. He loves it. No, I don't think he has any intentions of that. And they try to raise up church planners, urban church planners, and they send them out. So I know one of their last locations where they sent someone out was actually Harlem. So they're up in New York, Harlem, and doing that. And I know they actually said they're going to go to the Tech Duke game that's up there, and then he's going to preach that service there. So they're raising people up and sending them out and going after urban areas. So it's pretty exciting.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. All right, let's talk about finish talking about Fields of Faith. So who else spoke other than Zach, and I know Kennedy spoke?
Yeah, so we had Caleb Alexander. You'll love this story. So we did the Josiah's Challenge. So Josiah's Challenge, kind of the way Fields of Faith was founded, was peers challenging peers to get back into the Word. So Caleb, I've known Caleb. Caleb spoke at Pete's luncheon, and we right out of the bat, Brandy Cantrell was like, I think Caleb would be great. Yeah, Pete Christie's luncheon, and so we reached out to him. It was like, hey, would you be available? Would you want to do this? And so comes back. We're talking through it. He wants to do it. Well, I find out the day of the event, he had a football game that night and skipped his football game to be at Fields of Faith to do the Josiah's Challenge. And, he's a freshman at Monterey. He's their starting safety and misses their football game. And they said they had talked with the coaches, and the coaches were like, that's more important. You should go do that. And so, I felt horrible. I was like, dude, I had no idea you had a game. I wouldn't even asked you. And talking to Sims.
What grade's he in?
He's a freshman, starting safety for him. So then I see Coach Sims, who's the head Monterey coach, at the Thursday luncheon, and we're talking about it. And I go up there. I'm like, man, Caleb's going to get me fired. Like, I'm sorry. I did not know y'all. He had a game. I figured when I asked him, he would have told me. And he goes, no, it's okay. Those things are important. Go play a freshman game or go speak in front of thousands at Jones Stadium. And so, man, that speaks a little bit to their character and who they are. But he goes, well, and not to make you feel worse, but he said they lost and told me the score. And he said they said they couldn't get their safety to come downhill. And I said, well, thanks. That makes me feel a whole lot better. But,
so it's your fault.
But he did an incredible
You're killing
job.
our program.
Yeah, he did an incredible job. And Terry Kiner even said he's been around Fields of Faith now for I think 14, 15 years, and he said that's the best Josiah's Challenge we've ever seen. And pretty cool deal. Yeah,
it's just phenomenal. And of course, we appreciate Texas Tech and what they do, working with FCA and of course we got you, and Brandy Cantrell is like the women's FCA minister out there, Tech.
Yeah. So she serves all kind of the women's sports, and then you have Corbin Young, he's the multi-area director, and he works with football. I serve a lot like with the track team, and then Brian Klein takes baseball, and so we've kind of got it split up. And man, Brandy does a phenomenal job out there. All of those guys.
So Brian Klein with baseball. And of course, he was really a good player at Texas Tech.
Oh yeah, he holds the
and Gary and I
record
met
out
with
there.
him and talked to Brian. Oh, we love Brian.
Yeah,
and it's just and the kids are responding, aren't they? The players and the athletes and the coaches.
Oh, it's been.
That's
crazy.
one of the things we're blessed with at Tech is we got coaches that are with you.
I mean, we had our Monday night huddle, and I didn't count, but there was a whole group of baseball players that had come in, and so it's awesome to see. And even at Fields of Faith, we had multiple football guys down there with vests on as encouragers that are praying with kids. Multiple of our soccer students, soccer athletes, and
You're talking about Tech athletes that are down there helping
that are on
with
the field
as encouragers,
praying with students. And
awesome.
So that was awesome. Had some softball students roll out with supporting Naja, and there's something just brewing. Students are hungry, and
things are going on. Yeah.
I saw it on the news. They went out there and interviewed Patty Jones, who did a great job telling about the event and all that. And I look back there, and there's Mark and Linda Murdoch, who are in their 80s, and they're out there helping, doing what y'all are saying. And then there's Reeves, and there's Bart Greer, and just a whole bunch of adult in the community.
They have the altar called, and then a lot of kids come down either to give their life to Christ or to rededicate their life, and they sit and talk to these encouragers and pray, and so it's not only for the kids, it's an encouragement to the encouragers. The whole deal is just a win-win. It really is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we say that all the time, like just challenging people to get there. And it's a blessing to see that, to be a part of that, and those lives hopefully, just being changed. And then some people question, why do we do that, or why do we do the cards? And we're going through the cards right now because we want to pass those on to the churches and the groups to disciple them in their journey now.
Hey, can you hang on? We're fixing to go to break. I want to talk to you about the Olympics. I want to talk to you about some other things, but we'd had a good discussion on Fields of Faith, and proud of all y'all guys for what y'all did. It was an amazing.
That's a huge event in the community, without a doubt.
Yeah, for our whole area, it really is. Bradley Atkins is here. We're going to come back, and we may talk a little Tech football or Texas Tech track and all that when we come back here on Sports Talk.
Sports Talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
No, I love quarter four, but earlier I was looking for their cap in my stack of caps here.
Got so many, can't find it.
It's out in the car.
Oh,
But I'm a big quarter four.
tell us about
fan.
Roofwise.
Well, I'll tell you this about Roofwise. They finished my mother-in-law's roof. Very happy with Roofwise. It's easy to remember because if you want to make the wise choice in roofing, you use Roofwise. It's not easy to say, but and then I've got a duplex that they're going to start on this week, and I'm looking forward to the job they're going to do there. Then they're going to come over to our house. So real happy with them. So anyway, if you get the opportunity, and I know a lot of people are still trying to choose a roofer for their home or rental property, Roofwise. I'd love to give you the number, but I don't have it.
They can find it. Nowadays people you just say their name and they can find the number immediately. Remember when you used to have to go to the phone book and look in the yellow pages?
Yeah. Oh, and Yellow Page salesmen, they banked. They did such and then all of a sudden their job was gone.
I know.
I have this wonderful job. I've built up this great clientele, and you don't need me anymore?
It's gone.
It's gone.
Hey, Mission Service Companies, this is my son Tanner, and there's a lot going on in the oil and gas business all over everywhere. And they do this not only in the South Plains, in the Permian Basin, but on the South Plains, Levelland, Sundown, wherever you got it going on. They'll come out and spray your pad sites, your stack yards, and keep all the weeds out. Something about weeds in the oil and gas business.
And nobody likes weeds.
And nobody likes them. In fact, one of our friends here called him. He came over and sprayed their alley because they had weeds in their alley.
There you have it. There you have it. And they won't come back for a long time.
Yeah, they kill them good. And they guarantee their work. But if you got weeds and you're in the oil and gas business, you need to give them a shot. They will do you right and give you a great price. And you get a discount, too, if you call 806-632-6325. How easy is that? 632-6325. And tell them you heard about it on Thetford and Ashby. They'll give you the TNA discount, and you will love the work they do.
And that's your baby boy, Tanner.
That's Tanner.
I went this week to see my baby boy, Taylor.
Yeah.
In Steamboat Springs, Colorado. And gosh, that's a wonderful part of the world. And you rich folks out there, I'm not talking to you poor folks because you can't afford to go to. You can afford to go there. You can't afford to buy a house there. But you rich folks, if you're looking for a house or property up there in Steamboat, call Taylor Ashby.
And it's handy.
Steamboat Sotheby's, Taylor Ashby.
There you go.
And everybody knows somebody that's rich, and everybody knows somebody that wants to move to Steamboat Springs, Colorado, because that's
and
a wonderful
part of the world. And if y'all will
world.
call a year, it'll be really good for Taylor.
Yeah, that's right.
The houses are really expensive.
You don't have to sell many of them. He's got one $10.7 million listing.
Oh, my gosh.
And we went through it, and, oh, good gosh.
That's more than most realtors do in a year.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Some.
And he sold like an $18 million ranch. I mean, so anyway, you don't have to have that kind of money to move to Steamboat. But he's got some $400,000 listings.
The only thing that bothers me about Steamboat and Fort Collins, where my daughter Rachel lives with Jordan, is that you got to fly to Denver and then drive up there.
Well, since you mentioned that, I had the opportunity to come through the Denver airport and got to spend 3 extra hours.
Yeah, and it's huge airport.
Yeah, and I usually blame it on American Airlines, but it wasn't them this time. It was United.
Oh.
It was United this time. All right, real quickly, Texter says, Viva 33. David, so glad you're back on the air and improving every day. It just takes time. My brother-in-law had a stroke back, and it took him a while to get back to normal. Well, let me tell you, David has never been normal, so he cannot get back to normal.
I can't even find it.
Yeah. You'd have to have been normal to get back to normal.
Mo Evans told me at lunch, at the high school coaches' lunch, and I see Mo. This wasn't last week, the week before.
His boy's graduated, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
okay.
out.
I thought he.
But I see Mo, and I said, he said, how you doing? I'm doing good. And I said, I'm just not back to 100%. He said, you never were 100%.
No.
I got my goal weight, 100% of what I was, which wasn't much. But
all right, I can get caught up here real quick. Craig Holly was my Pony League coach at Southern. I always liked Southern Little League. Let's see. No, Craig and Buddy's last name were spelled different. We went over that.
Yeah,
Buddy
we did.
spelled his name wrong.
Well, Buddy changed it, I think. That's what happened.
Texter says, Gundy is also dyeing his hair black these days.
I don't know what Gundy. He kind of reminds me of Gavin Newsom from California. They'd be good buddies, seem like.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he quit.
Texter says, Coach Lewis at O.L. Slayton called all of his players mullet heads.
You get in here. Don't you remember, coaches? You mullet? Get in here. You ever get that at Idlew? Johnny Taylor texted me earlier. He didn't know I'd had a stroke, but he's glad I was back.
But there's a lot of people that
they don't know, and now I tell them now
you have
they're
to be in this. Of course, Johnny is in the sports community, but
Jan put it on Facebook, and Instagram,
or Facebook.
It's unbelievable. Did Johnny call you a mullet? How was old Johnny Taylor?
He's good. Those guys were the real deal.
Was he tough?
When you miss a play, line up and run it again. That's what you'd hear
over and over.
But I was talking to a guy yesterday actually about it. Those coaches were together 15, 20 years, and you don't see that anymore. And so, man, it was a special kind of run there, and blessed to have him. And then he won a state championship, and then left us. So he retired.
Well, quit on top. We had a gaggle of coaches over at Evans Junior High that were there, I'm going to say 25 or 30 years together. I mean, it was. You really don't see that much.
You
anymore.
don't. They're moving around,
and
they like to use skillet head a lot.
Skillet head.
All right, I'm assuming that you were a extremely good football player also, because you were obviously an Olympic high jumper. So tell us about
athlete.
Tell us about your football days in Idalou.
Yeah, I was decent. Played receiver, safety. So small school, you get to play both ways.
Or have to.
We still
get to or have to.
We're 7 foot high jumper, and we still didn't throw it up enough.
I can go get it.
That was I was like, man, let's throw the ball more. I think my senior year, and you'd have to go fact check it, but I think they had told me that I averaged 33 yards a catch my senior year. I'd catch the ball and we'd score, and so like, man, let's keep doing this.
Doing more of this.
Run it left, run it right, run it left, run it right. That's kind of what we did. But no, we had a good run. That my junior year, starting safety, and that defense was something special.
Y'all didn't give up many points, did you?
No, from the first district game to the state championship, I think it's 17 total points in that entire run. And one of those scores was in the game. We got some of the backups in, those types of things.
You gave up 17 points for the year?
From that first district game all the way to the state championship, I think it's 17 points. So we had
that year was what?
That was 2010.
Was that Tanner Cook's year? Was Tanner Cook with you?
No, he was 2 years older than me. But his other brother,
2008.
His other brother Tyler Cook, who's actually strength coach at Tech now, he was on that team. So he was a corner, and so we were in the secondary together, and we had a fun little deal. You know how like the Seahawks had the Legion of Boom or whatever. We called ourselves the LDL, the Lockdown League. If they threw the ball, we picked it off. So.
All right, as exciting as Idalou football had to be for you, the Olympics. You go to an Olympics. You have a little couple of minutes on that experience?
In Rio? Was it in Rio?
Rio
2016?
Rio de Janeiro.
Was that what it was?
It was. When you going back to high school, I remember maybe my freshman year, I came out that very first meet, and I didn't really know what to expect. In middle school I was really good, but you kind of hit a growth spurt. You don't really know where you're at. You just finished basketball season. You come out. I jumped 6 feet 4 inches first meet freshman year, and you're sitting in there. You're sitting in class, and people were joking literally, hey, when you make the Rio Olympics, we're gonna come see you.
And no way. When you're a freshman?
Freshman. So the dream as a track athlete is always the Olympics, right? So you're running after that, pursuing that. When I come into my freshman year at Texas Tech, we had a class where you had to, hey, where do you see yourself in 4 years? What are your goals? All those things. And so I had my major on there and all those fun things, but it had the Rio Olympics. And so you're always dreaming those things. But when I came in as a freshman, I'm jumping 7 feet, 7 feet, and that's not going to get you there. So it didn't become more of a like, hey, this can actually happen until about my junior year where I jumped 7 feet 6 inches. And then all of a sudden there's this like, man, this is actually tangible. And so all that to say, like, I had actually got to a point in that season where I was like, man, I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm out of here. Like, it was just the beat down of a season, just discouraged and defeated. And I'm on a tractor. I tell this story. I don't know how much time I have, but I tell this story. I go out to the farm because I had to get away. And the farm's kind of a secret place for me. And I'm moving a tractor, turn off the radio, and I just start weeping. I said, God, I'm done. I quit. I said, clearly this isn't what you've had for me. Will you just show me what's the next step? And I literally that night, it's about 1 a.m. I'm sitting there. I can't sleep. I go to the track and I'm walking. I text 2 of my buddies. I said, man, y'all pray for me. I don't even want to go to this meet. I don't want to go embarrass myself again. That's where I was. Next morning, about 6:30, we had a men's group. So you can put the hours together. I didn't sleep too much that night. And there was the guy that was speaking. He's getting to the end of his message. He says, maybe you're here today and you need to dream again. And you need to hope again. And when he said that, a wave, like, I'm serious, I felt like a wave hit me. Like if you were standing on the ocean and I knew God was speaking to me. And I walked over, I'm talking to him, I'm getting prayed for. I go and I sit down. I said, okay, God. I said, you said Rio's the dream. I said, I don't know how, but okay. And everything from that moment kind of shifted. And so when it happened, and I actually realized, man, we just made the Olympic team. I hit my knees on the track and was just blown away. like, man, God showed up. And so it's just such a surreal moment where you're like, did this really just happen?
All right, you just said we made the Olympic team. Who is your we?
Oh, man, I say we because I try to run from pride all I can. So my story, I wouldn't have been there without God. My faith in Jesus Christ.
He and God made it.
I'm dead serious. So when I say
partner.
that, but like we talk about what's your why, and for me, it's my faith in Jesus Christ. It's my family. It's my friends, and it's West Texas, right?
But you know,
and just carrying that through.
Bradley, you're saying you grew at Tech, and this is some of the best high jumpers in the world. It's certainly in the NCAA at Texas Tech, all together.
Yeah.
How in the world did that many great high jumpers? Trey Culver. Yeah. What was the other guy's name that was so?
Jacorian Duffield.
Oh, yeah.
Going in the Hall of Fame this year.
He's going to the Hall of Fame, Duffield.
Yep.
What's the highest y'all all jumped? Tell everybody, not in meters.
Yeah, well, that's what's funny.
Speak English.
I had the lowest height. I jumped 7 feet 6 inches. That's what it took to make the Olympic that year. Jacorian and Trey, they both jumped. I've got to run it through my head. Because Trey's going to say, if I say the wrong number, he's going to get on me. But I think it was 7 3/4. And then Jacorian had hit, he jumped that 234 mark, which I believe is the 7.8 right there. If you ask Trey, he's going to tell you 7.8, but I think it's 7 3/4.
Now, Trey's working with FCA.
He is part-time, so he's helping me with all of everything inside the loop.
That Culver family, that's amazing.
So, yeah, we had a run in there, and
That's crazy. You had that many great high jumpers all together at Texas Tech, and you won the NCAA. You won the Big 12 championship that year.
I won it in 14.
14.
So my sophomore year, and then man, I just kept getting second place. So golly, it was there so many times, and
you still jumping? You still jumping?
No.
You ever get a group of kids together, guys together, just go out and high jump?
No, there was a kid a couple years ago though. I had worked with a little bit trying to help him out, and the last practice we had, he was a little stagnant. So I showed up in my spikes, and so this was probably now 4 years ago, and so I jumped with him that day. I beat him.
Good.
Short approach. Well, and I was a couple years retired at that point. I was like, I still got you. So I jumped 6'6" that day. That's probably 4 years ago. Short approach.
Oh wow,
that's still amazing.
That's all it took to win. So I cleared that and shut it down. So
I hear you.
I was just trying to have some fun with it. Go back, and I did that with a kid one time. We were jumping off a box. I was like, all right, you can't let me beat you by X amount. And it was just a way to have fun and interact. And then also I'm trying to show them, man, how do you attack those last two steps. But, man, just blessed to have had the run that we had. And that's really, for me, I try not to take the credit because all of that God used. Looking back, the further I'm removed, actually, the more I look back and say, man, it was impossible. Like, how in the world did I make that Olympic team?
Oh,
from Idalou.
From Idalou, Texas.
Yeah.
So we just trying to, like, when I look, the doors that God opened up through that, and God just kind of showed me it was never about the Olympics. It was always about the people that He wanted to reach through that platform.
And now they got you right. He's got you right where you're supposed to be, in my opinion.
Well, I had someone today. I spoke at the breakfast, and this woman comes up to me and says, "Where do you preach at? I gotta know." I was like, "Well, ma'am,
where do you preach?
I don't preach from a pulpit. I share Jesus."
Was Pete Christie's deal too.
Disciples. It's the same thing. Yeah, Pete's breakfast, and she goes, "You ought to be preaching," and she says, "The things that you're going to do later is more important than now." And I'm like, "Well, I'm preaching in the schools." So
yeah, you are.
Well, do you see that in your future?
I can't. I don't want to say never. Never say never, right?
Yeah.
Because as soon as you say never, God likes to we'll see about that. But right now, man, we're going to take the gospel and discipleship into the schools.
It's phenomenal what's happening. I'm blown away by what God's doing through Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Well, and
thank you.
I think the best is yet to come. And like I said, there's 60 million students in youth sports, and we're going to go get them. So you want to be a part of that.
Well,
you want to be a part of that mission. Come on. We need people to pray, serve, and give. So come on.
Now more than ever.
All right.
We appreciate
Bradley Atkins, everybody. He's doing a great job. And we appreciate all you do. Thank you, Bradley.
You bet.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, Tom's Tree Place, 34th and Slide Road, iconic Lubbock business, the Scarborough family, and they can do everything you need done for all your landscaping.
This is the
trees.
time of year to do something with trees. I don't know what, but check with them because they do.
Go ask them. They'll tell you what to do. They're very knowledgeable, and they're right there to help you when you walk in. That's what I love. Beautiful facility at 34th and Slide Road. We've talked about Stacy Nix today, Golf USA. That's his company, and, of course, Mike and Chet and the whole gang that's there. They just are so knowledgeable on golf equipment and what you need and what you ought to be hitting and the kind of ball that you ought to play, all the accessories, too.
And that's where David went. This is all – it's not comical, but David finally, after, 15 or 20 years, went and got measures for some PXG clubs and
got him
went out, left the store, went out and had a stroke.
No, that happened. It was later.
It was before the clubs came in.
Yeah, I hadn't even picked them up. But
yeah.
And right now I was thinking today at home when I was getting ready, I said, I can't go play golf. I'll fall over. But anyway, they've got it. They can fit you for clubs and a huge selection of putters. Just Golf USA. Go there. All you golfers, that's where you need to be going. You'll love it. One other thing, Gavin Nissan and Infinity of Lubbock. Gary and I both have vehicles from there now. Get so many compliments on my Nissan Pathfinder at Rock Creek. I really do get a lot of comments on it. And
say that again.
I get a lot of comments on my car from Gavin Nissan.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a
really
funny.
Love it.
Is that Gus? I was just texting you, Gus, to see how's 11:20, but 11:02 is good too. Oh, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this about my Gavic real quickly. I got my Infinity. I got my car, and a few weeks later, a buddy of mine goes and gets a very similar car because he says, I figured if you got one there, it must be a good deal because they know how cheap I am, that I'm a bargainer. So anyway, another one of my friends went and got a car, almost identical. We're going to look like triplets driving around. Same Infinity, the Q80 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a great looking car.
Yeah, but now there's.
I bet y'all look cute together.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Y'all are sweet.
The little Bobbsey twins bobbing around there in our little Infinities. So anyway, hey Gus, I appreciate you. I was hoping you'd zoom in because we got a lot of female listeners and watchers that would like to see you. So, but that's okay.
Well, yeah, I'm in my lawn mowing clothes. I don't know. Maybe that looks good to some people, though. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you do have an image to keep up, so you don't want to be seen out.
I thought you were busy off somewhere doing something important. You're mowing your yard.
It's hand-to-hand combat. This is going to be mower, push mower, riding mower, and the weed whacker. This is a whole operation today. Well, it's good for an open week.
I thought I heard you yesterday say that your bride was doing most of that yard work.
Oh, that's well. She did. We were talking about how much we've watered in the backyard to get the grass going because she has pulled weeds this summer.
There you go.
She can go out there in the morning and pull weeds. Well, we need to get some grass going so there's less weed pulling next year. So
there's a lot of lesser wives than yours that do a hard line on weeds. They just refuse.
Yep.
So anyway,
and this is not. I didn't put her up to it. You know enough to know I can't tell her what to do, but she just went out there on her own accord.
There you go.
Made it happen.
Well,
I'm glad
Miss
Major chip in.
Good to see you back in circulation this week.
You.
If I'd have known you needed a hug or some attention, you could have just called me and had to go all into the hospital for 2 weeks and do all that other stuff.
Well, I guarantee you that nothing like staying at the hospital is so great. And they bring you food and everything.
Let me tell you, you good deed doers out there, you're wonderful people. But when people are in the hospital, they're in the hospital because something's wrong. They either don't feel good or they're
going there on vacation.
Or they're beat up. They don't go up there so people come hang out and visit. So if you want to, drop them a note, text them. Hey, Facebook. You can do that Facebook thing.
I've done a lot of that.
But don't go hang with them up there. They don't feel good. Okay. That's my public service announcement for today.
Okay, and it was good to see people that came by. But I promise you this: you're supposed to be getting well, Gus, and hospitals do a great job of trying to help you get there, and rehab places. And the rehab place I went, South Plains Rehab, was great, but there ain't no resting. You get no rest in the hospital.
No, you need to get out of that hospital if you want to rest.
Oh, my goodness. I told him, I said, how about I sleep a little bit? Y'all not waking me up.
Yeah, come in there and check. Probably, especially after what you had, they probably need to check that blood pressure every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, they're checking that blood pressure.
Yeah, that's exactly right, too.
We got it under control.
All right. We know you do 5 days a week, 3 hours a day most days. And so you don't get probably as excited to be on with us as you used to. But we do want to pick your brain on the Texas Tech Red Raiders playing the University of Texas at Austin at 1:00 today. And
now, how did this why are they playing? What is the deal? 12-inning game?
Yeah.
Is that what's the deal?
Yeah, it's a 12-inning scrimmage, and I would imagine we'll probably run 8 or 10 guys to the mound. It's really early. I don't know that anybody's thrown more than 2 innings, if that. And I'm sure Texas is probably in the same mode, but he said that he and Schloss got together, and these things have been, I guess, legalized. Legal is not the word, but they've been put back in the rules that you can do a couple scrimmages, and said that the guy with the Round Rock Express helped them, which, that may just mean he got them some hotel rooms for a night or whatever, but they're putting this thing together, and Tim was excited about, I think just a measuring stick this early, and they obviously have a bunch of new faces. So, yeah, I think it's a 12-inning scrimmage, and my guess, too, is that if an inning goes long and, a guy's out there and he's got 1 out and the base is loaded and 2 runs are already in and he's thrown 34 pitches, they're not going to, speed up some guy warming in the in the bullpen and get him in. Sometimes they just scratch the innings and go on to the next one. So this isn't going to be a
Did we fly down there? I guess. Did we fly down or did we bust?
I doubt it. I bet we bust.
Yesterday. Hey, there's a lot to be said for getting a team on a bus and a little
camaraderie.
Yeah, a little camaraderie. Yep. So anyway, I bet
night
we
in the
bust.
hotel. I think that's part of the exercise.
We got some pictures. I keep seeing stuff online. We've got some new faces, new pictures. What are you hearing?
Yep. Hey, let me do this. I'll show you guys what a smooth running Operation Tech Talk is. Brennan has a piece of audio ready to go. So, Brennan, play that, and then we'll come back.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, man.
Needed to add a couple middle infielders with Lincoln Garcia, Tommy Hanger. You could throw Schaus in that mix if you wanted. All those guys are guys that can play in the middle. And that gives you versatility up and down your lineup. We needed an impact batter, too. I think obviously we addressed that with some guys. And so you're trying to build as tough a lineup as you can, up and down. The one thing that's been interesting, and there's going to be competition, but just in this short amount of time, it's already very clear there's some real guys standing out there. The guys are going to play every day and play every inning of every day. And so that's going to be unique. And so those 2 or 3 spots that are up for grabs, guys are going to have to be versatile and be able to play a different spot. And more than anything, just be able to play baseball the right way and obviously hit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like that? That was smooth, wasn't it?
Here's what I liked is it's real. Tech baseball has really disappeared the last couple of months. You've heard nothing about anything, or I haven't. And it's good to hear Tim, and it's good to hear that we do have some good uns, and we got a lot of good uns coming back. And I think that's the 5 or 6 that he's talking about are guys that were here last year and they were good last year, and they're going to be better this year.
Yeah, and I think those 3 are probably headlined by Robin Villeneuve at first and Logan Hughes. Logan Hughes is now showing up on top 100 lists. He had a very good summer playing in Cape Cod this summer, so he's putting himself in a good draft position. Then Tracer Lopez is back. And so those are probably 3 anchors. Davis Rivers is back as well. He'll be in that catcher DH mix. And then you throw in a couple of the infielders that he mentioned, Connor Schaus, Lincoln Garcia. Garcia is a good-looking 6'3", kind of remind you of Orlando Garcia that was here in 2016, 17, around in there. Good-looking player. He's going to be interesting to watch and see what he does. He was getting some reps at shortstop, so I don't know. And then the Schaus kid that Tim mentioned is a transfer from Georgia Tech. The other guy who's kind of got a lot of attention this summer was a transfer from Maryland, the University of Maryland, and he had 20 home runs there. And he's a big old first baseman, DH-y looking dude. So that'll be.
It's a DH-y
and I think they feel like they've got a guy.
Sound like he got a little meat on him.
He does sound like he's stout.
Exactly.
Not going to steal many bases.
I mean, that's jumps out at you. It's a physical looking group, and that's what he's saying in the comments. They're not a bunch of wee little fellers out there. And then
that's good.
I feel like there's two or three new catchers that can help. Two of them are junior college guys that were rated, and I got to see two of them, and they both throw well. Another one's a transfer from Vanderbilt, the DFW kid. So I think they feel equipped at catcher, maybe a little bit better than they were last year.
You know, the softball NIL money, it's out there for everybody to see, but we don't hear much about baseball. Does baseball have enough to be competitive?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because this is their first year of the new revenue shares formulas and stuff. And my guess is they were able to do some of the payments to the guys, most notably Logan Hughes, maybe a couple of these pitchers, to say, hey, we want you back next year. Let's go ahead and get you your money now before that House lawsuit thing was settled back in June. And so, which is really what football and basketball, a lot of those sports did. You'll hear people like me and Chris Level and a bunch of us say they front-loaded their roster. That means they paid the money back before there were any rules. And now the revenue-sharing formula is in place, so it probably helped us build a few extra players into this year's roster.
Yeah. Well, without a doubt. All right, you're our baseball expert, and we're winding the Major League Baseball season down here. Rangers sort of backed their way completely out of contention.
Well, they were in it too, weren't they, Gus? They had a shot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely they were, and they
lost 5 in a row.
Yeah,
no, more than that, I think.
They beat Didn't they sweep Milwaukee, who has the best record in baseball?
Put themselves in a good position. They also swept Cleveland a month or so ago, and that's who's in the hunt right now. But they really fell apart. They had a stretch where they won about 13 of 17, and then they just fell apart after that and played their way out of it.
Well, are the Astros playing their way out of it, or are they still hanging?
Well,
we're running out of days, aren't we?
Back of the wild card situation, they did win last night, and that's what they've got to do. Of course, all of this stuff is down to 2 games.
All right, 2 games.
And Cleveland and Detroit and Houston are all battling over one spot. Cleveland and Detroit are tied 1 game ahead of Houston. So Cleveland and Detroit are in the same division. So those are the 3 teams are probably watching the AL, but boy, I don't know that the Astros can afford to lose 1 game.
Oh no, they can't.
Of these last 2, maybe not. I guess, because
I
guess if everyone around them lost, they could probably lose 1. But
all right, suppose the Astros win both their games. The other 2 teams lose 1. They tie. 3 of them tie. What do? Yeah. They go get in a room and flip a coin? Do they?
I don't think so. I think Coach Gaines and them meeting at the truck stop.
Meeting at the truck stop. So, what do they do? 3 of them tie for the last wild card spot.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's some head-to-head stuff. There's a couple of little formulas, and then there may even be a quick little 1-game type deal.
Yeah.
If all 3 of them literally tie. But I know that the head-to-head part, because I remember when the Rangers were still in it, we were here. Now, if they finished tied with Cleveland, they would have the tiebreaker, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, I don't exactly know those, but Houston 1 game back. Okay. Detroit's been the one that's really collapsed because they had a great season until about a month ago, and they have a brutal September, but they've got the best pitcher in baseball and whatever. But, man, they're struggling.
Yeah. If they got the best pitcher in baseball, you'd sort of like to see them make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, that's
absolutely.
Just me.
He was a guy, Skubal, that was the pitching AAA. I mean, not AAA. He was like the pitching Triple Crown guy last year in the American League, led it in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. That's about as good as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah. How often does that happen?
Not very often.
Okay.
It's happened before, but not very often. And the names on that list are the ones you and I grew up knowing.
Yeah.
You know, the Koufaxes, people like that, Bob Gibson.
All right, wrap up the American League for us. What do you see?
Oh, man.
Yankees are hot right now.
Yeah, the Yankees are good, and I think the Yankees, Boston, and Toronto and Seattle have all locked up their playoff spots. I think Toronto and New York are still tied for the division lead, and so that has a little bit of intrigue attached to it. And those two also have the best records in the AL, so I'm sure there's some home field advantage type stuff to that. Milwaukee is one game ahead of Philadelphia with the best record in the NL. And that's after getting swept in Arlington a couple weeks ago.
I know it.
Good grief.
Yeah. I know it. Well, your Cardinals doing? Are they have they been finished for a while?
They are out. No, they're out. They're kind of like the Rangers. The other one is on the NL side at Cincinnati and the Mets. They're tied for the last wild card spot. So we'll go into the weekend with some scores to keep an eye on. That's fun when there's something going on the last weekend. Whole season comes down to one game. That's 161 games to be sitting there on the last day knowing you got to win to get in.
You know, the old traditionalists didn't like that wild card deal when it came out. The wild card deal, I think, has really helped baseball dramatically.
I like it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There were races that were over.
It's created more interest across the game, no doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt. Are you done, or do you want to hang with us a little longer? What do you got going? You want to get back to your weeds?
Yeah, I need to mow.
Okay.
Get back to your weed.
Talking to you.
Get back to your weed, Gus.
Go back to my weed.
Yeah.
All right. Gus, thank you, buddy.
Have a good weekend.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Good to hear your voice, Coach Thetford.
Thank you very much, Gus.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.